Hey everybody, it's Will. It's Monday, July 25th, and I apologize for not having posted a vlog sooner. I have been recording, and I will hopefully get all that together. I've just been really kind of sporadic lately, and my energy's been weird, and just been really distracted. Going back to when I had asked my best friend what she would want to see, one of the things, she had said, and I'd mentioned before, is, what's it really like, and how does it feel, and what goes through your mind, and what do you struggle with? So here we go. So I was trying to explain this to my wife last night, so I thought it would be good to share the effects of losing weight. So I've lost right at 30 pounds at this point, and on one hand, 30 pounds feels like an amazing number. It's like, oh my God, 30 pounds of stuff. I mean, I've picked up a 30-pound box before, and I mean, it's a decent amount of weight. But on the other hand, when I've got, almost 200 pounds to lose, 30 pounds doesn't feel like anything. I took some pictures recently, and I put them up on my blog, showing a before and after. I'll put them up here too. Now, the older picture was taken in about this time, but back in 2014, so 2 years ago. And I was about 335 pounds at that time, which is about where I was when I started OptiFast. So that's why I'm okay with using those pictures. I hadn't really done any full body shots since then. So there I was at 335. Here I am now at 304. And I have a hard time seeing the change. Other people can see it immediately, and you're like, "Oh my God, look at that! You're melting. You're disappearing, whatever." And I don't mean to be flippant about that. It's just I have a hard time seeing it. It's not that I don't believe anybody else. It's that I have to believe it for myself. So anyway, there's a comparison. But I can see some, especially the ones where my arms are up. I can see at the top in my armpit area. There's less fat, and that's really nice. But one of the things was actually here in the truck. So my belly is further away from my steering wheel than it used to be. But more than that, I noticed that I was having to lean forward a little bit, or that my arms were further extended, grabbing the wheel. Now I have short little arms, and I couldn't figure it out at first. And then I realized it's because I'm losing some of my back fat. And so you don't think about it. I feel like people who've never been fat don't really understand this. And when I say fat, I don't mean 30 pounds overweight. I mean when you are, a good amount overweight, and you're obese or morbidly obese, because the way your body grows isn't very logical. So the way it shrinks doesn't really seem very logical either. What I mean is, okay, yeah, I know my shoulders are here, my arms are attached to them. Okay, everybody gets that. I don't think that feels any different than anybody else's arms being attached. But what is different is kind of where they're located. Meaning, when I'm so fat, it's almost like they're just kind of floating out here in space, if that makes any sense. It doesn't. I understand that, but it's a difficult concept to explain to somebody. But then as I lose weight, you kind of lose it from all over. So you kind of shrink down. And it's not just like, oh, your belly has been sheared off and everything else is still in the same place. You're losing the fat from all different places, and so your body's just kind of shrinking in. And so then all of a sudden you realize that you fit differently into chairs, or you fit differently when it comes to reaching for your steering wheel, or bending over to pick something up, or how your arms fit to your sides. That's different, and it's really weird. And I think that's why we have such a hard time when we lose weight, and then we don't really see it even when we've reached the end of our journey, or the end, we reach our goal. Because you can see it in the mirror, you can see yourself in the mirror, but it's really hard to understand because you don't necessarily feel any different. Like, the things that feel different for me after 30 pounds are things like I can go up and down the stairs without it hurting as much. My knees don't hurt as much from it. My hips don't hurt as much from it. My back doesn't hurt as much from it. And I don't feel like I have to hold myself so rigid. I'm able to just move a little bit better. It's the fact that I can kind of fall asleep without having my CPAP on, without feeling like I'm choking and gasping for air, that I'm going to die. It's, waking up occasionally in a better mood, not knowing why I'm in a better mood or why I'm in a good mood. So it's these things that they're really hard for me to put my finger on. I mean, there's not, measurable so much. And because the measurement is, the pounds lost or the inches lost. But that doesn't change how I feel. It doesn't change how it feels to be in this body. It doesn't change how I navigate the world. It doesn't change even how I view myself. And that's weird, right? I mean, things are changing, and they're changing for the better, and I logically can see that, and I can understand that. But at the same time, nothing has changed. I think that's really hard, because why not just eat whatever I want to and not worry about it, since nothing's going to change? I mean, it's something I believe, that people treat you differently when you're fat versus when you're thin, having lost weight or having gained weight. People do treat you differently for that shit. Of course they do. Shallow assholes. So I know that things are different based on weight. But I don't hate myself. I haven't ever really hated myself for my weight in a really long time. I mean, when I was a kid, yeah. But as an adult, no. I've navigated most of my adult life being fat. And I've been relatively happy. Except when I got made fun of by somebody else. It wasn't until my health started to suffer, and I finally owned up to that. That's where I've hurt myself. That's where it's been a real problem. But if you take that out of it, I don't know. I'm rambling. Anyway, hopefully I can use some of this in my video. We'll see. So all that to say, this shit's confusing. It's not easy. It's easy, and it's the easiest thing I've ever done. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. And I don't know. I know that tomorrow I go and I weigh in again, and I'm worried I'm going to have gained weight or I've not lost anything. But I think that's normal to feel that way. I'm also worried about, I wanted my wife to be able to start this week, but they're dragging their feet on her blood work, so we're going to have to wait longer. But hopefully next week. I want that to be done for her, and I want it to be done because it'll be easier for me, and not having to cook and clean up after it on top of everything else would be really great. I love to cook, I really, really do, but I could really use the relief of not feeling like I need to be responsible for something else. Like, I have enough on my plate. Thank you. Although I feel like a tool for saying that because I have a guilt complex. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.